First of all, a pleasant day to everyone, and welcome to the presentation of the concepts for the week 1 module of the fourth quarter. Let us start with the recall of the measures of central tendency. So this particular topic actually was discussed during your first year or grade 7. And to start with, the measures of central tendency, particularly its purpose, is that it is supposed to be a measure or a single value that actually attempts to describe a set of data by identifying a central position within that set of data. And these are the three known measures of central tendency. Particularly, we have the mean, median, and mode. And let us start with the mean. And this is how we denote the mean. Particularly, we have to read this as X bar. So as you can see, there is something that looks like a bar on top of the X. And it means that the mean is equal to the sum of all the values in a dataset divided by the number of values in the dataset. So if we have n values in a dataset, such as we are using these subscripts to distinguish the values of the x's, such as x sub 1, x sub 2, and x sub 3 until the x sub n, knowing that we have n number of values in the dataset. Then the mean is said to be given by the formula of x bar equals x sub 1 plus x sub 2 plus x sub 3 until we actually reaches the x sub n, all divided by Tn. So anyway, we will have an example particular to these three measures of central tendency after we have defined all of this. And now, let us proceed with the definition of the median. So the median here is denoted by x tilde. So this one is what we call tilde. And by definition, the median is the middle score in an array. So here you have to know what an array means. An array actually is an ordered arrangement of a data set. Then when you are given with a data such as it contains the observations such as 1, 3, and 2. So these values can also be called as observations. So knowing that these values are not being arranged into a certain order, therefore, we do not have an array. So an array means that this data set should be arranged in a certain order, such as the ascending order, or from least to greatest, or the descending order, which means from greatest to lowest. Let us have an array. So if we have this values 1, 3, 2, then we can have an arrangement such as 1 followed by the 2. After that, we have the 3. So this is an array because the data or the observations actually are arranged in ascending order. But we can also come up with an array that is being arranged in descending order like this, 3 through 1. Okay, so this is an array, and this will also be an array. So the median is said to be the middle score of this array. So which particularly means that the median here is 2, while here we also have a 2. So we will have more examples of this later after we have defined all of these three measures of central tendency. And there is actually a note here that in case that there are two values representing the middle of an array, then you have to get the average of the two values to get the value of the median. And now let us proceed with the definition of the mode. The mode is denoted by this x caret. So this one is said to be a caret. And by definition, the mode is the most frequent score in a dataset. So we will have an example to deal with this particular measure of central tendency here on our next slide. And here we have to find the mean, median, and the mode of the given dataset. And the following are the scores in a 20-item quiz of 15 randomly selected samples from the students of CHS grade 1090. And here, you might have already noticed that the given dataset was not arranged yet into an array. But here we have a ready-made array that was actually derived from these observations in the given dataset. And now we can start with the mean. But anyway, we are actually not required to have our dataset be presented into an array before we can proceed with the solution for the mean. But since median is a part of the question, so it is imperative to actually have this dataset be written first in terms of an array. And with that, let us start with our mean for x bar. Take note that the mean actually is also known to be the arithmetic average. And with that, we have to solve for the mean the way we solve for the average as well. And that is by adding all of these observations in the given dataset and divide such sum by the number of observations in the given dataset. And for this example, we have 15 observations. And now, let us have the sum be written. And the sum should be divided by 15. So we may also use a calculator just to speed up the process. And now having the sum plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18, 19, and 20. So we have a sum of 157. And we must have this 157 be divided by 15. And the quotient is 10.4 and the 6 actually is repeating. Anyway, students are actually allowed to have their answers be written in 2 decimal places. So you have to round this number off to the nearest hundreds. And for our final answer, we have 10.47. And that is for our mean. And now, let us have the median. So the median actually has this particular method of which we have to first deal with the index of the median. So what do we mean by such index? So index actually is a number that represents the relative position of the median in an array. And with that, it has a formula of n plus 1 over 2 and substituting 15 for the n. So we will have this. Next, we have to simplify and that gives us 16 over 2 or 8. So that means the median has this particular index. And this actually tells us that the eighth observation in a given array is our median. So again, this index only tells us the relative position of the median in the given array. And with that, we can identify the median by looking at the eighth observation. And for this example, let us start with 2. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will be our eighth observation, and that would be our median. And now let us see if we can obtain the same answer by counting from 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that will still be our eighth observation. And for that, our median is equal to 10. And now for the mode. So the mode simply refers to the observation with the highest number of frequency. And with that, let us prepare a table for the frequencies. So normally X represents the score for the observations, while F represents the frequencies. So let's say that for our observation 2, so since 2 only appeared once in the given data set or array, therefore, we could have this presented using tally marks or taras like that. And that would actually be the same for the next observation 3. Since 3 only appeared exactly once for this given array, therefore it only contains one tally mark like that. And now, you might have already noticed that each of this observation actually is unique, or we can also say that all of these observations only appeared exactly once in the given data set. So therefore, we can have all of them just the same to have a frequency of 1. So therefore, since there's no observation having the highest frequency, therefore we cannot identify or determine a mode for this particular data set. So how do we write our answer for this? So normally, having no mode, we say that there is no mode, to be specific, or something like X current be none. Okay? So please, as an additional information, do not have your answer be written having this same concept of mode having none to be something like X current be equal to 0. Yes, we do say that 0 represents the idea of having none, but not in this particular case. Because notice that these numbers or observations actually were derived from the idea that these are scores in a 20-item quiz. So that means one student could have a score of 0, and 0 would be one of these observations. Like, let's say, for example, the 2 will be replaced with that score of 0. So therefore, writing your answer to be something like X current equals 0, you might have been thinking of this as having no mode, but you have mistakenly written that the mode specifically is the score of 0. Okay? So with the idea of having no mode, you have to instead write this particular answer of having none specifically. And for our next example, here we have a survey was made from a sample of 10 students taken from the class of CHS grade 10 4B. The survey wanted to know how much are the students' daily allowance in a public school, and it yielded the following results. So here we have an array for our given. So we are no longer in need to arrange the given because we are already given with an array. And again, for us to find the mean, which is the x bar, we only need to have the sum of all of these observations, adding all of those numbers. So we have 5 of these 50s, and we have to add these numbers as well. And then we have to divide this by the number of observations. So since it was taken from 10 students, therefore we have a total number of observations which is equal to 10. And with that, let us try to look for the sum of all of these values. So we have this be equal to 250. So let us use a calculator to speed up the process. So we have 550s, and we have a total of 250 for that. Then adding 55, 60, 100, 150, and 200. And that would be equal to 815. And this will be divided by 10, giving us a value of 81.5 for our mean. And now let us have the median. So for our index of the median, again, we have the formula of n plus 1 over 2, which is supposed to be equal to 10 plus 1 over 2. That gives us 5.5. So that means the median is located exactly with this particular position in the array. And notice that we actually have here a decimal value. So whenever it happens, then it actually means that the value of the median is located somewhere between the 5th and the 6th observation. And with that, counting for the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be our 5th observation in the array, while this will be the 6th observation in the array. And 5.5 is exactly located halfway between those two observations. So if you still have remembered the note particular to the definition of the median, so it was stated there that there are cases that there are two numbers that represents the middle portion of an array, such as this particular example. So whenever it happens, then we can calculate for the value of the median by having the average of those two numbers. And it means adding these two numbers together divided by 2, then that would give us 105 divided by 2, which actually gives us 52.5. And this will be for the value of the median. And now let us take a look at the mode. So again, so this is for the mean. So this is for the index of the median, while this is the value of our median. And now let us take a look at the mode for the x caret. So here we do not perform any computations. And with that, we simply have to look for the number or the observation that actually has the most frequency. So sometimes when having the frequencies of the numbers, then we may perform the tally approach, such as we have an observation of 50 or a score of 50. And since we are counting for the number of times the 50 actually appeared in the data set, then we may do some tally like this. So counting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So tallying using this task, we have 5 of them. Okay, so then we have to write the numeral of this tally marks. And for the 55, since we only have this once, therefore we have a frequency of 1. And doing this actually for the remaining observations, then you will see that the most number of frequency goes with the observation with a value of 50, because all of these remaining observations only appeared once, having 50 being the highest frequency. So with that, your mode will be equal to 50. So this is the case when we can have a certain value for the mode.